Welcome back to another video, and today we got our Week 7 NFL game predictions where we're doing these every single Wednesday night is when you can expect them. So make sure you subscribe if you're new. Not only do we do NFL content, we do college football top 25 weekly rankings every Tuesday, so that was yesterday. Make sure you go check that out. Along with when NBA starts up, we'll be having videos every Thursday. We're going to have our preseason preview prediction coming out this coming Monday because the season starts Tuesday. But typically those will be Thursday, and then college basketball every Monday with our Power 40 rankings, along with baseball content. While that season started, we have our playoff predictions. You could check those out if you'd like. Um, Links in the description as always. X, Twitch, TikTok, Discord. Make sure you follow those, join those. But like I said, subscribe if you're new. Noties, make sure you turn those on to make sure you don't miss whenever we upload. And like this video if you enjoy, of course. But with all that being said, let's take a look at the standings right now. So I am still in first. I Not to brag, I went 14-0 last week. I did not get a single game wrong. So did Ben. So first and third. Matthew at second. He went 13-1. Really, everyone had a good week. Sammy just falling apart over there. I don't know what's going on with him, but everyone else is doing pretty solid. I will say I've won the league or won this picks thing 3 years in a row. We're looking for the four-peat. All 3 years we've done it, by the way. I'm looking for the four-peat, and right now I have a 4-game lead very early in the season as well. Don't want to brag, but I am a genius, I guess you could say. But let's get into the picks. So Thursday Night Football, Broncos at Saints. Sean Payton going up against his former team. I'm assuming he wants some revenge. It's crazy the Broncos are 3-3 to me because they're really just not a great team. I mean, the defense looks really good for the Broncos. I'll give them that. Against Spencer Rattler here, I really don't know who I like. I mean, normally if Derek Carr was in, I'd take the Saints pretty easily here at home. But I'm feeling the Broncos this week. I think they move to 4-3. I think they get it done. They're favored by 2.5 on the road. I think it's to be a pretty low scoring game. Maybe 20-17 ballpark. Broncos win. I could definitely see that. I don't know. This game doesn't look very appealing to me or anyone. I mean, the Thursday night game is usually pretty rough. Last week was pretty good. But with that being said, I mean, I don't know. It's two pretty mediocre teams. Both these teams probably both going to miss the playoffs. I mean, Bo Nix versus Spencer Rattler. Maybe if this was college, you'd get a little more excited, but we are in the NFL now. So I think the defense for the Broncos is the difference maker. I think it's again going to be a very low scoring, very ugly game. But with no Derek Carr, it's hard for me to pick the Saints. So I am going to take the Broncos here in the Sean Payton revenge game. Next game, the London game, another just atrocious game. I mean, what are we doing? The Patriots at the Jaguars. Now I know it's usually the London games give them the worst teams in the league. Everybody, for some reason, on the Patriots. Maybe just because the Bears beat the Jaguars and just blew them out. But I guess they don't realize the Jaguars are pretty much London's team. I mean, they play there every single year, multiple times this year. I don't know if that's how it typically is. I don't really remember that too much, but they played there last week, so they get a 2 week. They don't have to go anywhere. The Patriots with Drake May, he's a rookie. He didn't look great last week. How will he do in an international game? I'm going to go ahead and take the Jaguars. I think they get it done. I think they have a nice bounce back game. Trevor Lawrence. And honestly, if this was just a normal game, I'd probably still take the Jaguars. I do think the Jaguars are overall better than the Patriots. They still got Josh Hines-Allen, Trevor Lawrence, ETN. I know he's been pretty bad. But Christian Kirk, Brian Thomas looks really good. Evan Ingram returns. He looks great, per usual. Go ahead and give me the Jaguars. We got a lone wolf little pick here. Go ahead and give me the Jaguars in this one. They're favored by 5.5 as well. I'm surprised literally everybody is on the Patriots. The Seahawks go into Atlanta to take on the Falcons. This is definitely an interesting game. 3-3 versus 4-2 team. Two teams probably going to be competing for playoff spots. I mean, Falcons you could argue I mean, I think they will win their division, but you could argue compete for a division as well. I mean, the Seahawks are definitely going to be in the wild card consideration. They've looked really good. It's going to be Geno Smith, Kenneth Walker, DK, Tyler Lockett, JSN. Go ahead and take on the Falcons offense with Kirk Cousins, who's looked really good. Drake London as well, Bijan, Kyle Pitts, Darnell Mooney. I mean, all of them have been playing very good. I think it comes down to the defense. I think the Falcons overall have the better defense. I think they'll be able to get a little bit more stops than the Seahawks. I think this is a pretty neck and neck even matchup in my opinion. The Falcons are at home though. I'm going to go ahead and take the Falcons. I think they just get the slight edge. I mean, the offenses are pretty even. The defense as well pretty even. Maybe the slight edge I would give to the Falcons, but the difference here, it is in Atlanta, so that's a huge advantage. So I'm going to go ahead and side with the home team there. The Titans at the Bills, pretty easy one for me. Will Levis, turnover machine. The Bills just traded for Amari Cooper yesterday. So when looking at the Bills, they're 8.5-point favorites. You usually don't see that in the NFL. And if you see that, it's a pretty good indicator that the team that is favored is going to win. So give me the Bills. I believe James Cook will be back from his injury. Like I said, Amari Cooper, new addition. Interesting. Will be very interesting to see how he fits into the offense right away. But even if he doesn't play, the Bills will still win. I mean, Josh Allen's playing great. I mean, and then the Titans just don't look good besides Tony Pollard. Bills also get it at home. It's a pretty easy one there. Bengals at Browns. Another easy one. The Browns just traded away Amari Cooper, like I said. I believe Deshaun Watson will still be starting. Tough for me to take the Browns with that. Now, I think Nick Chubb will be back, but how limited will he be? Probably a good amount. I mean, the Bengals are looking to turn their season around. They got an ugly win over the Giants. It's another must-win game for the Bengals. They're favored by 6.5, though. I mean, again, if you see a big spread like that in the NFL, it's usually a good indicator that the team favored is going to win. So go ahead and give me the Bengals. I think they get another much-needed win, and Joe Burrow has a great game. T. Higgins, Jamar Chase. Chase Brown's actually looking really good. He's probably going to take over the starting spot here soon. I mean, he may have already done it over Zach Moss. I do think the Bengals win, though. This is arguably, well, not the best game of the week, but one of the best games of the week, in my opinion. The Texans go into Green Bay to take on the Packers, 5-1 versus 4-2. I will say, real quick, actually, never mind. The Texans, C.J. Stroud, now no Nico Collins here, I think is huge. I think Stephon Diggs versus Jair Alexander will be a matchup to watch. I think Joe Mixon will be able to run the ball. They'll be able to run the ball a good amount. I think it's going to be a very offensive game, offensive-heavy game, high scoring. And I think both teams really show what they're made of here. This is a pretty good matchup, two playoff teams in my opinion. Definitely, both these teams could definitely still win their division. I mean, for the Packers, it's going to be a little bit harder because they are in the best division in football. I mean, they're last in the division with a 4-2 record. With that being said, I think the Packers need the win more than the Texans. They get it in Lambeau. Go ahead and give me the Packers. I think the Packers, when Jordan Love plays, they look like an elite team. Go ahead and give me the Packers here. Jaden Reed's looking really good. Josh Jacobs. I mean, they have probably the deepest receiving core in all of the league. Jaden Reed, Dontavion Wicks, Romeo Doubs, Christian Watson. I mean, it's a load. Tucker Kraft at tight end. The defense is still solid. I mean, I'm going to go ahead and take the Packers here. But Jordan Love, C.J. Stroud, what a great matchup there. This is going to be a great game overall, high scoring. I think the Packers get it done, though, at home. The Dolphins at Colts. This will be interesting to see with the injuries in this game. Is Jonathan Taylor going to play? Is Flacco or Anthony Richardson going to start at QB? And then for the Dolphins, is Achane going to play? Because he's dealing with the concussion. Is Tua going to play? Obviously, that's a huge question. Both these teams going through injuries. I will say if Tua plays, I'm going to go ahead, or if Tua does not play, I'm going to go ahead and take the Colts. I think he's going to play, so I am going to go with the Dolphins, but this pick definitely subject to change based on the injuries we see, and who is playing and who is not. But as of right now, I'm going to take the Dolphins. But if Tua is not playing, I'll go ahead and take the Colts. I'll make that clear right now. With the Lions and the Vikings, shout out the NFC North, man. Best division in football. 5-0 Vikings, 4-1 Lions, 4-2 Packers, 4-2 Bears. What a great thing to see as a Bears. I mean, it's obviously harder now because every team is good, so the schedule is harder. But it is cool to see. Obviously, I'd love to see the Packers in last place in the division. But this is a great game. I mean, again, one of the games of the week. There's some good games this week. The 4-1 Lions go to Minnesota to take on the 5-0 Vikings coming off their bye. The Lions fresh off a dominating performance against the Cowboys. The Vikings are favored by 2.5 at home, but I feel like I say this with the Vikings every time I pick them. I mean, their defense is elite. At this point, they have Jay Jettas, Jordan Addison, T.J. Hockenson will be coming back at some point. Aaron Jones, Sam Darnold's looking actually pretty good so far this year. But I feel like I say this every time when I pick a Vikings game. Do I think they go 6-0? I mean, this has got to be the week where they get their first loss. I mean, right? I mean, the Lions have just dominated the Cowboys. It's hard for me to look past that. So I do think the Lions give the Vikings their first loss, and I think the Lions overtake the Vikings for first in the division. The Lions just look so good. It's going to be one of the best defenses in the league, taking on probably the best offense in the league in the Lions. So going to be a fun one to watch. I do think the Lions get it done, though. The NFC East matchup here, Eagles going to New York to take on the Giants. Daniel Jones just looks horrendous. Give me the Eagles pretty easily here. A.J. Brown's back. He looked really good in his first game back. Saquon Barkley, Devonta Smith, Dallas Goedert, Jalen Hurts, obviously. I think it's a pretty easy one. Will Malik Neighbors play in this one? Well, I think he will. So that will be good to have him back. But honestly, I really don't think it matters. Daniel Jones is going to be the one throwing him the ball, and if Devin Singletary and Malik Neighbors both come back, I still don't think it matters. I'm going to go ahead and take the Eagles. They're just overall much better team here in this one. The Raiders at the Rams, the first afternoon game of the day. The Rams favored by 7. I feel like I'm saying this a lot in this video. If an NFL team is favored by 7 points, they are typically going to win. You don't see big spreads like that in the NFL very often. The Raiders just traded away Davante Adams to the Jets. Huge move, by the way. Now, I did say in the last video, Davante Adams, if I had to pick a team, it would be the Jets, so I was right about that. But with all that being said, I mean, is it Aiden O'Connell? Is it Gardner Minshew? Who's the quarterback? I mean, they both suck anyways. I mean, if we're being honest, Alexander Madison, Zamir White running back room now, it's really just Brock Bowers and Jacoby Myers and everybody else. I mean, they got Trey Tucker, but, like, it's a dumpster fire. I mean, they still have Max Crosby, but besides, yeah, it's just a dumpster fire in Vegas right now. The Raiders definitely tanking. We could definitely see Shedeur Sanders. I've seen some people mocking him to the Raiders. We could definitely see that. That's definitely realistic here. Going to go ahead and take the Rams at home. Matthew Stafford, Kyron Williams, they're coming off the bye. They're going to be well rested, well prepared. They get it at home. It's against a bad team. I do think Cooper Kupp might be coming back this week. Even if he doesn't play, I'm going to go ahead and still take the Rams, however. Next game, Panthers at Commanders. I feel like this week it's either a obvious pick or a really good game. This is another one of those obvious picks. The Commanders favored by 7.5. The Panthers just look abysmal. Whether it's Andy Dalton or Bryce Young, it doesn't matter to me. Jaden Daniels looking like the clear rookie of the year right now. Going to go ahead and take him. They did just lose to the Ravens, but the Ravens are a very good team. It was on the road. I'm going to go ahead and take the Commanders. Terry McLaurin looks really good. Brian Robinson, I believe, is coming back from the injury. Still got Austin Eckler. Still got Jonathan Allen over on the defense. I mean, the defense doesn't look great, but it is against the Panthers, so I'm not really worried. We will watch the Jonathan Brooks. If he does come back, that could be cool to see for the Panthers. But with or without him, I'm going to go in and take the Commanders. They look really good so far through the first 6 weeks of the season. Moving forward with this is probably the game of the week. The Chiefs at the Niners. I mean, you could argue it's Lions Vikings. You could argue it's Texans Packers. I'd probably argue it's this Super Bowl rematch. Chiefs coming off the bye. The Niners desperately need a win. They cannot afford to lose this game. If they lose this game, they're going to be at 3-4. Chiefs still undefeated. Do I think it's realistic for them to win this game? Yes. But they're going to have to lose some games at some point in the season. This is one of those games. It's a must-win game for Shanahan. They're going to have the revenge factor. Again, must-win game. They have it at home. They're favored by 1.5 as well. I don't know. This is two elite teams. I feel like defensively they can slow down the Chiefs' offense with no Rashee Rice, especially. I think they can slow them down enough. I think they'll be able to score enough points. I mean, they did just put up almost 40 points against the Seahawks now. Chiefs' defense is much better than the Seahawks. But, I mean, if Jordan Mason doesn't play, it could be interesting. I do think he's going to play. I do think the Niners win. Another lone wolf. I mean, you really don't see this very often. I have it twice this week. Maybe that's a bad thing. But I'm going to take the Niners at home in a must-win game. I mean, are they really going to be 3-4? I mean, they're going to have a worse record than a team like the Broncos. If the Broncos win, like I think, and the Niners end up losing, the Broncos will be 4-3 and the Niners will be 3-4. Do I think the Niners are a 3-4 team? No. Do I think the Niners are even a 4-3 team, even if they win? No. I think they're much better than that. They were my preseason pick to win the Super Bowl. I do think they win this game, though. Like I said, this is a must-win game for them. I think the Chiefs suffer their first loss of the season on the road in a revenge game, Super Bowl rematch against the 49ers. Moving on over to Sunday Night Football, another Jets primetime game. I'm telling you, they get every primetime game. I mean, I'd love to see how many they've got because it feels like they have gotten like every single one. So let me just look at this just for my sake. So week 1, they played the Niners Monday night. Week 2 was a noon game. Week 3 was a Thursday night game. Week 4 was a noon game. Week 5 was a London game, and Week 6 was a Monday night game. So they already have 4 games in prime time. London's not prime time, but it is nationally televised. So 4 out of their 6 games have been prime time, and another one this week, Sunday night against the Steelers. I think it's going to be a very defensive game, low scoring. Two elite defenses collide. Mike Tomlin has said Russell Wilson may actually start this game. I don't know why. You got to keep Fields in. He's 4-2. He's playing pretty good. But the Jets do bring in Devontae Adams. Breece Hall looks a whole lot better. Garrett Wilson looks very good. I mean, the offense in general looks a whole lot better. They probably should have beat the Bills last week. I think the Jets are on the come up. Obviously, Devontae Adams coming in is huge. I mean, with the firing of their head coach, they looked a whole lot better. I know they lost, but they looked a whole lot better last week. I think this is a game where the Jets go out and win. I mean, this is kind of another must-win game. I mean, if they fall to 2-5, it's going to be very hard to get back into that playoff discussion. They're favored by 1.5. It is tough that it's in Pittsburgh, but I do think the Jets get the win there. The first of the 2 Monday night games this week, the Ravens going to the Buccaneers, definitely the better of the 2. The Buccaneers with Baker Mayfield have looked very solid through the first 6 weeks of the season. However, the Ravens defense, I feel like, will do enough to slow down and limit the Buccaneers offense, their high-powered offense. I mean, Chris Godwin has looked so good to start the year. I think Mike Evans, this could be a Mike Evans game. I could definitely sense that. I could feel that here. But with the Ravens, Lamar, Derrick Henry's been probably the best running back of the season so far. I mean, he has more rushing yards than Will Levis has passing yards. That was just a stat I saw. I don't know why I just threw that in there, but it is true. And their defense, one of the best in the league, if not the best. Um, Lamar Jackson, one of the best quarterbacks in the league, if not the best. Like I said, Derrick Henry, probably the best running back so far this year. I mean, Zay Flowers is looking really good. I think I'm going to go ahead and take the Ravens. I think they move forward and win this one. They're 3.5 point favorites on the road. I think there's a good chance they win this one. Everyone's on the Ravens. I'm going to go ahead and join them. And then the final game of the week. Only two teams on bye week this week, the Cowboys and the Bears. A little weird, but it is what it is. The Chargers go to Arizona to take on the Cardinals. Chargers actually favored in this one by 2.5. Kind of surprised to see, but I am going to go ahead and take the home team. I'm going to take the underdog. Give me the Cardinals in this one. Well, I did take the Dolphins, but besides that, this is the only underdog. I guess I took the Lions too. It's surprising to me, Minnesota's favored. But this is one of the only underdogs, I guess, I've taken this week. And I don't know. I just at home, I feel like this is a bounce back game for Kyler, for Marvin. Well, actually, we really don't know if Marvin is going to play because Marvin Harrison, he got concussed. So is he going to play? Probably not, actually. This could be a James Conner game. We could see a good Trey McBride game. Maybe that's why the Chargers are favored. But I'm going to go ahead and stick it out with the home team here. Two teams that I don't think will really make the playoffs. I think personally I like the Cardinals a little bit more than the Chargers. So go ahead and give me them. Throw me over there on the Cardinals. But that's going to do it for the Week 7 NFL game predictions. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, make sure you get on there, leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new, turn on the noties to make sure you don't miss whenever we post a video around here. Like I said, these videos every Wednesday night, college football top 25 rankings every Tuesday night, so make sure you go check that out. It'll be popping up on the screen here shortly if it hasn't already. Links in the description as always, X, Twitch, TikTok, Discord. And yeah, that's going to do it. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you guys Monday with our NBA season preview. Make sure you stay tuned for that.